It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 13th, and I am very happy to be with you for the next 4 hours. By you, I mean you, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Very happy to be with you.
Turn my microphone on this morning.
No. We said you were going to keep it off.
Well, everyone would enjoy that, wouldn't
That's
they?
why I was in such a good mood to be with you.
I know.
Come on.
I get a personalized greeting this morning, and I wasn't prepared for it, like most mornings.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice when the bell just sneaks up on you like that? We're sitting around thinking about anything but the fact that, hey, the show has begun. Hey. So with that in mind, it's time for the top 5 at 6. Let's get your day off on the right foot. Now that the Paris Summer Olympics are over, we're all looking ahead to Los Angeles, to 2028. And the mayor of Los Angeles did say, flat out, that the summer of 2028 Summer Olympics in LA will be a no-car games. You will have to take public transportation to get to all the venues. That's a quote.
They'll all be empty then, every single venue?
Yep.
You can't get anywhere in LA without a freaking car.
Well, they're going to whip that public transportation system out there into shape on short order, and you just wait. They'll have flying cars.
Karen.
People around.
The woman's name is Karen Bass, and boy, she's got a fish story for us on that one. I'm just not buying it. I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles, actually lived in Los Angeles for a little while. And when people talk about California politicians, they always go, oh, they're all communists. And I go study communism. Suddenly I'm like, wait, that might be, hang on. They might be honest. Like, carless games? We're America. What do you think this is? Europe? Asia? Stop it.
They just like to jump over the line every once in a while.
My
I mean,
God.
if they can pull it off, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that, because the last time they were in L.A., they were so spread out. You had things in Pasadena.
They're all over the
things
place.
in the Valley.
Yeah.
And you think you're just going to shuttle, I don't know, how many people attend the Olympics? Hundreds of thousands?
I think what that means
thousands?
is they're going to set up places to park a couple miles from every venue, and then you get a shuttle bus, which means getting in and out of the parking lots will just be a nightmare. But hey, once you're on that shuttle bus and the air conditioner's not working, then you'll be sweating like a standard European likes to sweat in public.
I can't wait to watch it on my TV.
Oh, man, no question.
Yeah.
No question. If I don't have tickets, I'm not going. If I don't have parking, I'm not going.
No,
so guess what? I'm not going.
You already told that kid of yours he's got 4 years to get you basketball tickets.
Number 4 in the top 5 at 6. Speaking of Los Angeles, it was rocked with an earthquake yesterday, a 4.4 magnitude. Again, a little bit of LA experience I have. That is not a small tremor. 4.4 is shaken. And yesterday, on ESPN, Malika Andrews was doing a live interview when it hit, and I saw this on Twitter and retweeted it and just said, wow, this is amazing. She just handles this like such a pro. Do we have that audio?
Right here.
And it was so much fun to see, particularly the crowd sort of getting behind as we have a bit of an earthquake here in Los Angeles. So we're just going to make sure that our studio lights, everything stays safe, everything's shaking. You good, Mylan? Everybody good? All right, thank you so much for bearing with us through that. Our studio was shaking just a little bit. Tarsi, if you're still good in the studio and everyone's still good. All right, so this is what I want to show you now. Rebecca, I appreciate you just bearing with us here.
Let me tell you something.
Your routine earthquake.
The screaming, thank you, Tony, for the sound effect. That would be me. There is nothing, there's not a chance I would stay calm. When the building you're in, when the earth you're standing on starts to shake, that is a whole nother level of terror, at least in my experience. That is an incredible performance for a woman who's like, I looked her up. She's from Oakland. So I'm like, well, okay, she's used to it, maybe.
Grew up with these things, man.
But still,
this is nothing.
you never know. And I know Angelinos who are like, you get used to it. And I'm like, yeah, but you never know. You don't know when it's coming, and you don't know if it's the big one. You don't know if it's going to, you don't know how long it's going to take. So anyway, Malika Andrews, seriously, phenomenal effort.
Meanwhile, I'm in St. Paul last night at the Luscious Crab having dinner with Taylor and Cody and Jamie, and the power goes out for, 1,002, 1,001, 1,002. In that 2 seconds, an employee screamed, "This is crazy! What's happening?" And then somebody in the booth next to us said something very foul about up the keister or something like that. I mean, it was pandemonium there for a full 2 seconds till the power came back on. Didn't handle that with as much composure, I guess.
Well, live and learn. We'll be ready next time. Number 3 on the top 5 at 6. Dadgummit, I hate it when Canada makes me feel like I want to go to Canada. Ontario 7-Eleven stores starting to sell beer and wine September 5th. Not only that, they're offering, obviously, booze for takeout, but they're also providing a place where you can sit down and have a cocktail at the 7-Eleven.
At the 7-Eleven, right there at the...
New special dining sections. Dining. Just call it a bar.
Right, exactly. You can get a wine smoothie there. What are the things? The big gulps? A wine big gulp there?
Yes, the big gulp.
You guys want to...
There's a first date.
There it is. I mean, you go out to, say Montana, for example, a lot of states out west, you buy your beer and your wine, you only get it at the grocery stores.
Yeah.
You don't get it at the liquor store is just liquor. You've got to go to a grocery store or a convenience store to get your beer or wine.
Yeah, you guys want to tie one on? There's a 7-Eleven up the street. It's a weird one.
A little day drinking at 7-Eleven. As if there wasn't enough shenanigans at 7-Elevens anyway. Let's get some booze going.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. Check this out. The walleye limit bumps up to 2 on Mille Lacs starting on Friday.
My God,
starting Friday, anglers can keep either 2 walleye between 18 and 20 inches or 1 18 to 20 inches with a second over 28.
Well, yeah, if I get one over 28, I'm going to sneak it out of there if you're not going to let me keep it. But
yeah, no kidding.
You can almost get yourself a meal up there in Mille Lacs now. Well, that's better than nothing, I guess, which it was catch and release, I think, when the season started way back in May.
Before we get to the top 1 at 6, yo, Delano, what's up? How you doing over there? We hear you. We hear you rocking out with KQRS in the morning. Come on, Delano. Here's a little bit of love for you. Get up, get out of bed, get to work, have a good day. What do you say?
They're already serving breakfast at the American Legion there in Delano, I bet.
Hell yeah, they are.
Speaking of boozing.
Number 1 on your top 5 at 6, the Twins with a win over the Royals last night, 8-3. Who was it? Was it Brian Zepp himself?
Damn it.
Who said something about Byron Buxton still playing
in August?
Yesterday, a little something they call right hip discomfort.
Well, that's
brought him
bad.
out of the game in the 5th.
Damn it.
Damn it, Brian.
I know I saw that headline this morning. I was like, God, I had to open my big mouth.
You did.
I'm not taking credit for this. And discomfort in the right hip. That's a day off. Come on, that's nothing. Who didn't wake up this morning with discomfort in the hip?
Well, that's true. That's true. It's you know what? It's funny. This morning early, I was just sharing messages on Instagram with a buddy of mine who lives in Germany who's got a hip tendon situation he's dealing with. So, yeah, it's clearly going around.
Rub a little dirt on it, Byron, and
come
get
on,
well
brother.
soon.
Literally, the day when they come up with leg transplants, this team's going all the way. It's just a matter of time. I hate it for the young lad. All right, there's your top 5 at 6. Unfun facts at 6:50 today. Metallica tickets being given away, or you got to work for them. But we have Metallica tickets at 7:50. And what's that? I believe I smell toast. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is August the 13th, and if you don't think anything happened today, well, wait till you find out what happened on this day back in the day. All right, here we go. In 1906, Jack Taylor of the Chicago Cubs lasted 3 innings pitching against the Brooklyn Dodgers. Why is this significant? Well, it ended his consecutive complete game streak. So after 3 innings, he got pulled off the mound.
Yeah.
He had just thrown before that 187 straight consecutive complete games.
Games?
187 complete games in a row. There weren't closers back then. There was barely a bullpen. My man went for 187 straight games before he got pulled. In 10-year career, he only failed to finish 8 of 286 starts.
Man, that's, a feat that will never obviously be equaled, but they don't even pitch complete games. Joe Ryan was pitching a complete game last year, and I kind of wanted to leave, but I'm like, he's pitching into the 8th.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a no-hitter. It's not going to be a perfect game, but you don't see complete games much anymore.
No. He retired shortly thereafter. One morning he woke up. He'd been sleeping on his arm, and oddly enough, it just fell off. Wait, that didn't happen. I made that up. On this day in 2006, Cleveland Indians first baseman Travis Hafner. Not exactly a household name.
Old
good
Half.
player. Old Hafner tied Don Mattingly's Major League Baseball mark with his 6th Grand Slam of the season.
I thought you were going to say sideburn length.
Yeah,
All right.
you would have thought so.
Yeah,
I was like,
6th Grand
Travis
Slam.
Hafner. I've heard of him. What? I looked him up. He's from Jamestown, North Dakota.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Just up the road. Over
Graduated
there,
from a
I mean.
high school that didn't have a baseball team.
What?
Yeah. He was the valedictorian of a high school class with 8 students. I don't know. I mean, I guess he was could hit the ball real far, too.
Kid could swing the bat.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, and that puts me in the mood for Pittsburgh Steelers football, Brian.
Hell
Zep.
yeah.
They blast that Renegade over at what used to be Heinz Field, boy.
Yeah, now it's Acrisure Stadium, I guess, or whatever. One of the big companies out there. Yeah, the Steelers, here we go with the new year. I'm not quite as, I wish we had J.J. McCarthy all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. Well, one thing I do like is not hearing Renegade at football games. So I'm happy to have the Vikings and the Titans as my 2 teams. Not feeling too bullish right now about the Tennessee Titans. I can tell you right now, J.J. McCarthy, did you see that? Knee soreness after his first appearance in a preseason game.
As a kid.
Missing practice for a couple of days. That's exactly what that is. A young guy got out there. He got a little excited.
Got a skin knee.
Stepping a little harder than he should have, and knee soreness.
That's nothing. That's nothing. He won't miss it. I doubt he'll even miss a practice, right?
He is not practicing today.
Oh.
Or last night.
Or last night. That's how that works. But he'll be back. He'll be good. I mean, football's not, it's not for the weak of heart. It's a dangerous job.
Yeah.
But there are many jobs far more dangerous. In fact, I'm looking at a new report. The 3 deadliest jobs in America: logging workers, roofers, and then fishing and hunting workers. Check this out. Logging workers, 101 deaths per 100,000 workers.
Wow.
Are they still getting up in the, do you still need to climb trees and stuff like that or is it just they're falling on top of you? Is that how you're dying?
All I know about logging is what I've watched on the History Channel, since they do reality shows now almost exclusively, or alien shows.
Right.
But anyway, I forget what, X-Men or something like that. What was the name of it? But yeah, it's dangerous. No, they've got big machinery out there, but big machinery.
So it's like Fargo style where they're getting eaten up by the wood chipper?
No, it's these cables that snap, and
They're getting attacked by beavers.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I just see calluses and hear Quebecois accents when I think of loggers.
I mean, it's grueling looking work, man. But yeah, I could see it out there. There's a lot of moving parts, things flying around out there.
So that is almost double the rate of number 2 on the list, roofers. 58 deaths per 100,000 workers.
Yeah, you can't be drinking up there.
No,
you fall
can't.
off.
Well, it's like they say, who falls off roofs more often? Well, roofers, because they're up there all the time. That checks out.
Get a little cocky,
and then it says fishing and hunting workers, 51 deaths per 100,000. What's a fishing and hunting worker?
I'm not
Somebody who gets eaten by a bear, right?
Well, that would be
I
the
guess
hunter.
like deadliest
like
catch.
a guide?
I guess commercial fishermen, guys who are out there in the North Atlantic, and
or
I don't know,
guides,
like
perhaps.
George Clooney when he's on that boat and he goes up, maybe something like that.
That's right.
Let's see here. Construction, 39 deaths per 100,000. Jeez. I worked construction for about 4 days in 1987, and quickly realized, this is not for me.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Did you wear a hard hat?
Yeah, you got to bring it.
I wore a hard hat one day, and then the other 3 days I just laid stones for a sidewalk. In a neighborhood in Atlanta where, by the way, to this day, I will still drive you past and go, that's my sidewalk. I have a shockingly bizarre amount of pride in that damn sidewalk. Me and a guy from Poland didn't speak a word of English.
Hope you put your initials in there.
We had a great couple of days. Hey, these things happen. Hey, speaking of hard workers, what about our friends in Afton? That's a good, they put the shoulder to the wheel over in Afton. Good morning, Afton.
Oh,
appreciate you being with us this morning.
Mornings at Afton, I better just quaint. Nice little
Damn
coffee
straight.
shop down there. there.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, by the way, speaking of nice and quaint and having great mornings, why don't you join us for KQ Up North? Hoffman Weber Construction is going to be up there with us October 3rd through the 6th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Join us for a broadcast of this very show. We'll have a karaoke party, a dinner cruise, live music, and a whole lot more with the whole crew from KQ. Book your stay right now at 92kqrs.com, sponsored by Hoffman Weber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. That's going to be a great weekend.
Love your show.
You notice we don't schedule those trips for Tuesdays because Tuesdays, well, there's nothing good about Tuesday. It's the runt of the week. And so, of course, as it is that case, it's time for some unfun facts.
Oh, I was just trying to get my facts straight. Unfun.
Unfun.
Not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
Entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun.
Facts.
Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
Oh, we shall. I got some unfun facts for you right here. How about this? Mortgage. We all have a mortgage. We all dread that mortgage payment. The word for mortgage comes from a French word meaning death pledge.
Really?
That sounds
Il
about
est
right.
mort. He is dead. Mort is dead. Yeah, death pledge.
As of next week, I am 3 years into my 30-year mortgage, so real excited
Home
about
free.
this.
3 years into
Yes.
your 30-year
Yeah.
death pledge,
Home
Ryder.
free.
Please get it
Oh,
right.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, death pledge. That's pretty great. I, there are people who would tell you that's what they thought their marriage vows were, but no. It's your mortgage payment.
Ouch.
How about this? You want an unfun fact? I got one for you. 40% of commercial pilots admit to have fallen asleep during a flight.
Well, they've got autopilot, right? I mean, those things fly themselves.
That's true.
Okay.
And by the way, as a power napper from way back, I'm
Yeah.
totally cool with this. Because what refreshes you and gets you mentally alert better than a 10, 12-minute nap? Nothing.
Yeah. No, that's it.
You're sitting in the cockpit, you got another pilot right there, you got autopilot. Like, no, seriously, close your eyes. Take 10 minutes, refresh the brain. I want you focused when it's time to bring that thing down to earth.
Exactly. Yeah, take a little snooze. Sleep along with us. Why don't you? Have a couple of cocktails. No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Give yourself 8 hours. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
Siberian bears. Let's talk about bears in Siberia. Here's an unfun fact. They have been known to go into cemeteries and dig up dead bodies for food.
Well, I mean, it's a Siberian bear. I'm thinking of Siberia. Never been, but it sounds,
Yeah.
like a wasteland.
It's pretty rough.
Not chock full of delicious berries.
One Russian official talking about this in a documentary said that bears view the cemeteries as giant refrigerators, just keeping that meat fresh. Digging up bodies out of caskets to eat.
Well, I mean,
How about this? How about let's feed the damn bears?
how would you feel if you were the grave digger there? I'm not filling this in, You got to.
Yeah.
I'm not filling it in. The bear's just going to come dig it up. Yeah, I think just throw them out there on
You're
top of
sitting
the
there,
ground.
you're like 3 feet into a 6-foot dig with that shovel, and you look up and there's a bear just staring at you, and you're like, okay, come on. Just save me some time.
Here we go,
brother.
buddy.
How about this for an unfun fact for all you lefties out there? Or as my dad called you, commies. 2,500 left-handed people die every year around the world due to their being forced to use equipment or machinery for right-handed people.
Yeah.
So 2,500 people around the planet every year are left-handed, forced to use something for right-handers, and it leads to their death.
Dangerous out there for a lefty. By the way, today is Left-Handers Day.
Is that true?
It is. Today is Left-Handers Day.
Wow.
And just think of the little inconveniences, like the flap on your zipper. It's from there. If you try to do your zipper with your left hand on a lot of jeans, you can't. You got to go with the right hand. You got to kind of reach around. Yeah,
apparently, you got to have lefty scissors, too.
Yeah.
Sorry to step on your reach around joke there.
That wasn't really much of a joke. It just sort of happened.
It's left-handed day. I wonder if there's a coincidence that the two surviving Beatles are both lefties. Paul and Ringo.
They are supposed to have a shorter lifespan too, aren't they? Lefties, just because of stress and being a lefty.
Yeah, but Paul and Ringo, I guess what the lesson from them is, especially if you're left-handed, stop eating meat. And you're going to live forever, apparently.
Also, be a billionaire.
That helps a lot. I still to this day am convinced I was supposed to be. I'm a lefty. My dad wouldn't let me be. He was from that generation where he skipped the 19th century, and as far as what that means. But everything I did as a kid, he'd go, "What are you doing? Switch your hands." Right? He wouldn't let me be left-handed. Isn't that weird?
That's a lot of those kids ended up with a stutter.
Is that true?
Yeah, isn't it like what's the king? King Edward, wasn't one of the King Edwards that had the stutter? King's Speech.
The King's Speech.
The King's Speech.
Sure.
I forget which king that was, but because he was left-handed, and that wasn't, you couldn't be a part of the royalty, a noble person, and be left-handed. So he was constantly forced to use his right hand, and they think that's probably why he stuttered. Stuttering was a consequence of people not being left-handed, being forced to use their right hand.
The only thing I still do left-handed is I shoot pool as a lefty.
Do you?
He never got the stick out of my hand.
Well, you must be just ambidextrous by nature because you didn't struggle with it sounds like.
No, but everything I did naturally. Like if it was like at the dinner table, I'd pick up the mashed potatoes with my right hand and scoop with my left. And he would switch hands. I mean, he'd make me switch hands. And in soccer, I played soccer my whole life, way stronger to the left than to the right. It was like, and in fact, and then we'll move on from this because I'm already bored with myself. When I broke both of my arms in the summer of 1986, my right arm was in a cast for about a month longer than my left arm, but I went right back to working at a basketball camp.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, I had to play basketball left-handed. And in less than like a week, my left-handed jump shot was so much better than my right had ever been.
Really?
Yeah, it came right to me. To this day, I'm much more consistent shooting from the left than the right. So anyway, thanks, Dad.
Happy Left-Handers Day.
Here it is. Every year, here's an unfun fact. Every year on its anniversary, the Mars rover sings happy birthday to itself.
Oh, that's pathetically
Got
sad.
no one else to sing for.
Here, I have a little recording of that.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I feel so damn lonely. Won't someone kill me?
Is that from the Matt Damon The Martian flick? Is that an excerpt from that?
Yeah, it is.
Here's an unfun fact for you. In China, a motorist who hits a pedestrian but doesn't kill that pedestrian pays for the medical costs. If you hit somebody and it's your fault, if the pedestrian is in the right of way and you hit them with your car, you're paying for their hospital bill. However, if you kill a pedestrian, you just pay a one-time fine. And what did this lead to? Follow the logic. Some drivers actively go back and attempt to kill the person they just struck.
Well, who didn't see that coming? Your unintended consequences. Yeah, throw her in reverse. There seems to be some movement back there.
No, it's a mercy killing for my wallet. Unbelievable.
Don't tell me they're not capitalist over there. Come on.
They
at heart.
Oh no, that's the thing. When you say you're not, then you can get away. Then it's just unfettered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal, man. Can you imagine being like? I guarantee you, it's like if I'm ever in China and if I get hit by a car and I'm alive, I'm looking. It's just a flesh wound. I'm fine. No, I will.
I've got insurance back home. I'll wait till I get home.
I
to
will
file.
run out of that crosswalk on my hands if I have to, because you just imagine laying there and you hear the
who's limping. I would just hate to be in that position. There would be some times in my life where you're down to your last dollar and you bump into someone out there and they're laying there doing the crappie flop or whatever. I'm like, I can't afford this. I don't need this right now.
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
I mean,
all right, there's your unfun facts for a Tuesday. You ever get? I got crushed in 7th grade for cussing at school. The girls volleyball coach, Miss Christian. That was just her name, not a nickname. Her last name is Christian. She heard me MFing a friend of mine in jest, and man, she lit me up like a Christmas tree. The worst trouble I ever got in. But because if you say the wrong thing at the wrong place, you can still get into trouble. How about 558 days in jail for cussing? Yeah, hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
In English, as an infant. As an adverb enhancing an adjective, Shirley is f***ing beautiful. As a noun, I don't give a f***. As part of a word, abso-f***ing-lutely, or incredible. And as almost every word in a sentence, the f***ing f***ers. As you must realize, there aren't too many words with the versatility of f***, as in these examples describing situations such as fraud, I got at the used car lot. Dismay, oh, it. Trouble, I guess I'm really now. Aggression, don't with me, buddy. Difficulty, I don't understand this question. Inquiry, what the was that? I'm sure. With all of these multi-purpose applications, say it loudly. You.
Wow.
Yes.
What a versatile word.
It's incredible.
You've got classic rock, and then you have classic radio bits. And that one is, I wonder when that sucker was produced. Probably been 30 years since
it
I
was
first
not
heard
done
it.
in one take, I can assure you. That would have taken me an hour to get through that with a straight voice.
That word is, and we have all done this, I'm sure, only use that word in succession with different inflections.
Sure.
I mean, you can communicate just F, F, F,
Well,
F, F.
You know, on the short list of greatest TV shows ever, The Wire.
Yeah.
The HBO series. There is a scene in The Wire where the two lead detectives, Bunk and McNulty, solve an entire murder scene by going back to the scene of the crime. It's about 5 minutes long. Nothing but variations of the F word. That's all. It's if you Google it, pull it up. It's amazing how much they convey, and that's the whole point. Yeah. It's an entire scene where two homicide detectives figure out the angle of the shot and how it must have happened and what's wrong with the original investigation, and all they say to each other is variations of the F word.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Effing incredible.
Yeah, it truly is.
I have to be careful here.
I know.
You know what? Seriously, I found myself. Don't say it. Talk about it. Don't say it.
I know. I want that word to continue to be a bit taboo. That's what gives it its power and its resonance for us. Is that we can't just throw it around willy nilly.
You know remember last month there was a judge up in Michigan, and he was conducting a Zoom call with a guy, and the dude called in and said there was a charge of driving on a suspended license, and the man who was being charged called. It wasn't a Zoom call. The judge is waiting for the guy to show up in his courtroom. He's got a suspended license charge, and they need to deal with it. They have to process it. The guy calls the judge to say, "Hey, I'm just parking right now. Sorry, I'm late." And the judge goes, "You're parking your car now? Are you driving?" The guy goes, "Yeah." The guy's like, "Yeah, I'm driving." And he's driving himself when he's already in trouble for he's not supposed to be driving.
Here's just a little bit of that.
Mr. Harris, are you driving? Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office. Actually, I'm parking right now.
This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
That is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
He's suspended, and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me with this right now?
Realized
F.
This judge, Cedric Simpson, that thing literally went viral. It was just so funny. The guy realizing, oh my God. Yeah. The judge, Cedric Simpson, is back on social media today. He had a guy in his court yesterday. It was a minor trespassing charge. And the defendant, Daryl Jarrell. Come on, how great is that? Maybe it's Jarrell, but it's spelled the same. Two R's, two L's. Daryl Jarrell.
My other brother, Daryl.
Daryl Jarrell and my other brother, Daryl Jarrell. Daryl Jarrell was not happy about what Judge Cedric Simpson was giving. Well, he wasn't picking up what the judge was laying down, as they say. And he started, cussing out the judge. It did not go well.
It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can just kiss my
I'm going to tell you what. You don't come here and that's contempt. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
Days in jail.
Oh, wow.
The guy can't, this was me until about 35, until I had stood tall.
Shut the up.
Yeah, right? I had stood tall in front of the man so many times, and it was just defiance. It was just like, nope, I'm going to make it worse. You want to make it worse? I'm going to make it worse.
You were Bender in the Breakfast Club.
That judge, as you heard in Michigan, that's another 93. That's another 93. 93 days for every contempt of court. And he said, you just got 6 93s. That is 558 days for contempt of court. Last I checked, there's 365 days in a year. So that's well over a year in court just because you can't stop telling the judge to kiss your bleeping ass.
Right. Well, rebels are born every day. What was it, trespassing? So he was in there probably for a slap on the wrist, maybe?
It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can just kiss my
I'm going to tell you what. You don't come here and that's contempt. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Man, you shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That's great. Yeah. My other favorite miscreant of the day, if you will. Another man running afoul of the law in Daytona Beach, Florida. We'll just stop. If you've ever been to Daytona Beach, Florida, there's a hodgepodge of miscreants operating at all times.
At all times.
There's body cam footage that was released. It's fantastic. A Florida man is walking along a bridge over the Halifax River in Daytona Beach. The Daytona Police Department are looking for a robbery suspect, and this guy fits the bill. They pull up to him at 7 in the morning. Now, again, this is a bridge over a river. It's a pretty long bridge.
Yeah.
The officer's body cam, the two cars pull up next to the guy. The two cops get out of the car. They're chatting with him. He's holding a bag in one hand. He's got like a plastic bag from a store, maybe a backpack. He's got a few things. And the officers get out and they talk to the guy. Hey, can we come and talk to you? They have a quick chat. And then the guy asks the officers, he goes, hey, am I being detained? That's what he says.
Yeah.
And the officers go, yeah. And what does dude do? As calmly as anything you've ever seen. He sets down one bag, sets down the other, turns, and just jumps off the bridge right into the river.
Oh my God.
And he does it calmly, like, it's cool. I got now. I'll just jump in the river. What are they going to do?
Here. Don't forget to land on your feet. Plug your nose. It's a long fall. How long or high of a fall is that?
I'm not sure, but he just steps over the guardrail, jumps into the river. What he didn't count on is that there's police boats. It's
everywhere.
Florida. There's a cop on a boat right up the street. Like, hey, get in here.
Right.
They sent the boat out. They did find him pretty quick. But the officer calls it in. He's in the water. I mean, it's just that he's in the water. It sounds like Sully Sullenberger. We're going to be in the Hudson. It's like, but the dude, it's a great bit, really. Just always be on a bridge, so you got to get away if you need it.
Yeah, that doesn't work. You're right, in Daytona. Well, it's A for effort there, buddy.
I do appreciate it. Speaking of Sully Sullenberger, hero, American hero, legitimately. Oh,
God, yeah.
You can't overstate the insanity of that whole story. The miracle on the Hudson. The guy brings bird strike, takes off from LaGuardia. 2.5 minutes later, he's landing a plane on the Hudson River in January, and everybody lives, and with very few injuries. just one of the craziest, most unbelievable stories ever. That's the guy you want flying your plane. Now, unfortunately, when you go through something like that, you're grounded. Like, he's never flown since.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sullenberger, he was towards the end of his career anyway, but in the aftermath of all that, after you've been through that, they're like, hey, nice job, bud. You're good. I think it's more of a just for his own mental health and stuff. It's like,
is it about going out on a good note? You're never going to top that. Like,
that could be a part of it.
Work.
That's true. You know where they don't do that? The military.
Yeah, no honorary discharge there.
Yeah, I mean, you fly a good sortie, you don't get to hang it up. It's how about those old World War II bombers where they just kept tacking missions on?
You know what? I'm sorry. He did fly again, but he took a long break and then he came back to just sort of go out on a more normal note. So
what if
I
it
was
happened
wrong
again?
There. He did. Oh, can you imagine?
Brandy
then it'd be like, what's this guy's thing? He always knows where the birds are.
Oh, Steve Brandy would like to add the co-pilot did just as much. Poor guy gets no love.
It's the mustache.
Yeah, and you're the co-pilot.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, you're not gonna. It's like the offensive lineman. They don't get the accolades. It's the quarterback. The QB gets all the attention. Brandy, you're sweet.
That's why they call him the big uglies up front. Come on. So you want a guy like Sullenberger in there. Here's what you don't want. You don't want 45-year-old Seymour Walker flying your plane. Here's why. Frontier Airlines pilot. There's a flight from Houston to Dallas. That's about a 30-minute actually in the air. It's probably an hour all told. Canceled last week. The plane is in perfect condition. Weather was perfect. Passengers are ready to board. You know how when you're getting ready to board your flight, you tend to look out the window at the plane you're about to board.
There it is.
We all do it. Yep. Like, there it is. Okay, I'm going to be in that plane in a minute. I'm going to be on or in, depending on which preposition you prefer. I'm going to be in that aluminum tube. There it is. That's the plane. I'm looking at it. There it is. And every now and again, you'll see a baggage guy like drop a suitcase on the tarmac, or you'll be like, there's the baggage guy. That's my plane. There it is. This is something I've never seen when I'm doing that. And this is what the customers in Houston saw last week. There's that little staircase that comes out of the plane straight down to the tarmac.
Yeah.
They saw the pilot in handcuffs being escorted down to the tarmac by two members of the Houston Police Department.
Wow.
The pilot was in the cockpit. The police boarded the plane, arrested, cuffed him, and brought him down the stairs. Can you imagine watching the pilot on the plane you were about to go into?
I would assume there was an odor of alcohol about him, but no.
It was not that.
Okay.
There was he was arrested on a warrant. It was related to an alleged assault on a family member.
Oh.
There was not a replacement pilot available. The flight was canceled.
Oh, come on. Can you pick him up on when he gets home?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, okay, but put a marshal on the plane. Make sure he doesn't escape it. Let these people get to Dallas.
There's no one. There's no one here. The public's not in harm's way.
I'm just imagining that though. Of the many things you see at an airport or traveling, watching your pilot in handcuffs walking down. That'd be so funny.
We're not going anywhere.
That's not good. That's a bad day at the office. Make no mistake about it. But remember the old days when everyone didn't have a video camera in their pocket at all times?
Oh, my God. You could get away with so much.
That was amazing. That was great. That was like before DNA. Remember in the 1800s, you could just kill everybody. Nobody ever knew it was you.
Good old days.
Either that or be totally innocent and go to jail for the rest of your life.
There was that, too.
Yeah.
There is always a downside to just about every advancement. Yeah, there always is. Hey, Metallica's in town this weekend. You going? Anybody?
Yes.
Planning to see Metallica?
Friday night date with Metallica.
All right.
I'm still contemplating. I get up for the big shows. The U.S. Bank Stadium, right? That's a big whole thing, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be an ordeal. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear they've got a new concert DVD coming out. Something on streaming, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm so old. I might be there, though.
It's tough. I'll tell you what, there may be a couple of other people who might be at the Metallica show this weekend, and I'll explain who they might be momentarily. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Okay, Led Zeppelin, I'll bite. You guys are awesome. Black Dog from Led Zeppelin 4. This is Steve Gorman and the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 13th. You know who loves them some Led Zeppelin? The members of Metallica.
Yeah.
Metallica Early 90s, when the Black Album came out, I remember reading the Rolling Stone cover story written by David Frick, and he said Metallica is the Led Zeppelin of their generation. And I was like, no, stop that. They're not like Led Zeppelin. And then I read the article about how they did it their own way. They didn't talk to the press. They didn't have videos. They didn't do all the typical things. They built that audience one rabid fan at a time. And then I was like, I guess they kind of are like Led Zeppelin. Oh, well. But Metallica, by the way, where are they this week? Here at the U.S. Bank Stadium, Friday and Sunday. And we have tickets to see them Sunday night for a couple of callers. And what I would do if I were you is call us right now.
Do it.
On the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2 will play a game for tickets to, yes, again, Metallica, Sunday night at U.S. Bank Stadium. It's going to be rockin', and it will be well worth your time. So call us right now, 651-989-ROCK. We need callers 9 and 2 to play for Metallica tickets. And in the meantime, I will take a moment to say hello to my friends in Plymouth.
Yeah, it's pronounced Plymouth.
Plymouth, Minnesota. Plymouth. I do actually have friends in Plymouth. My first weekend in Minnesota, January of 23. Oh, who can ever remember those old halcyon days?
Yeah.
Went out to see an NFL football game at a lovely home in Plymouth. It was my first, at a friend's house watching the Vikings. First time ever. And so very special memories as I sat in a room full of Vikings fans who were just waiting for their impending doom. My first real experience with the magic that's, oh, no, we're probably not going to win. And I'm like, come on, guys, we're the Vikings. We got this.
Black magic, yeah.
Happy to know we've got a bunch of people in Plymouth listening to the show this morning.
Yeah, just up there at, the old Rock Elm Tavern, Tasty Chow.
Oh, yeah?
Like it very much in Plymouth. Highly recommend it.
Oh, fair enough.
Just happen to be driving by.
You can always tell your smart speaker to play 92 KQRS. That's if you're in Plymouth or anywhere. Just look at your speaker and for God's sakes, just go, hey, play 92 KQRS, and you're going to hear us or Woody or Lisa or any of the wonderful folks we have here at the station. Right now, let's get to it. We've got a couple of callers locked and loaded, ready to play for Metallica tickets. Tony, what on earth are you going to subject these people to?
Got a couple of fine rascals ready to play this fine game. So, Olympian or sandwich artist proved to be a popular game. Requests flooded in to continue the battle.
Wow.
But with the conclusion of the Olympics, we take the wheel to give a new turn. And so now with culture and sophistication, we'll give you a name. And you tell us, is that person a traditional artist or is that person a sandwich artist? So a painter, photographer, etc., what have you, or a Subway employee.
Or something more meaningful to society, like a sandwich artist, not one of those goofy artists that, we could take or leave, really, let's be honest.
I like it. Let's see who is up first. Contestant number 1 for artist or sandwich artist.
Number 1, say hello to Evan from Chaska.
Evan, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Are you a fan of sandwiches?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about fine art?
I like Botticelli.
Botticelli.
Botticelli?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Botticelli. He does those. Have you ever seen those dogs playing poker?
Sure.
Oh, sure. Awesome. All right, Evan. Well, it's time to see if you can win some. Metallica tickets. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Evan, we're going to give you a softball to start out with. Leonardo da Vinci.
Fine art.
Very nice.
Damn straight.
Fine art. Number 2, Nick Recksteiner.
Sandwich artist.
Correct, out of Toronto. Nick makes a fine veggie supreme.
Yeah, the little maple syrup on there. Just gets the Canadian touch.
Number 3 is Shaheen Salimi.
Fine art.
I am sorry, Shaheen makes subs in Fort Lauderdale.
The salami special.
Yeah, no. Oh, I thought he was that MLT guy, that mutton, lettuce, and tomato. Mutton, lettuce, and tomato.
Mutton. Number 4, Annie Leibovitz.
Sandwich artist.
I'm sorry, Annie is a fine photographer.
Does she do the picture with the babies?
No.
With the baby.
No.
I mean, think of a rock star right now. Say it out loud. Yeah, she took
David
pictures.
Bowie? Yes.
Yeah, I guarantee you she took pictures of David Bowie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, the baby's photographer is Ann.
Well, it might be coming up.
Are you thinking about a jelly?
Geddes or Geddes or something like that.
Oh.
If is who I came to mind. It's definitely not the Weimaraner photographer.
Oh, that's a Man Ray.
She did several photographs of David Bowie, 2 for the cover of Vanity Fair.
Yeah, all the Vanity Fair covers, the
all that
famous
stuff,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Evan. We're forgetting our guest.
Or Evan.
Sorry, Evan.
Evan, number 5 is Edward Hopper.
Sandwich artist.
Oh, sorry. He's my very favorite artist. He famous for Nighthawks is his most famous painting in the diner late at night. Bryce's just nodding his head.
No, I was
You
just...
don't say.
That's the 4 people sitting in the diner, right?
I got
Yes.
it. I was just
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. He was a pill popper, wasn't he?
Yeah, Hopper the Popper.
Happy man. All right, Evan, your last one. Number 6 is Bob Ross.
Fine art.
Well,
Correct.
fine.
You have the fro, the joy of painting.
Happy little trees.
Put one of our happy
Fine
little
art?
trees right here. It's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Oh, it's
You're
fine.
right.
That's fine. Evan, 3
Good
for
job.
6. This is hardly a gimme. It's not a milk run.
No.
So 3 for 6 is pretty solid, my man. Well played. We're going to put you on hold for a minute. We're going to move on to contestant number 2. Who have we got?
Bring up Shane from St. Louis Park.
Shane. Good morning, Shane.
I'm here. I'm kind of excited. I hope I win.
No?
Oh, good.
Well, we're glad that you're excited. Are you a fan of sandwiches and or fine art?
Sandwiches or fine art?
Do you like either one of them?
Yeah, I heard this game before.
Okay.
Don't much happen there. Sorry, our dog's trying to get in the kitchen.
Okay. Well, if you're ready, we're going to start. Good luck to you.
All right, Shane, I'm going to throw you a softball to start out with. Pablo Picasso.
That's fine art.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Number 2, Shakola Columbus.
Shakola Columbus. I think sandwich worker.
Correct. Out of Tucson, one of the best in fine state of Arizona.
I love that he repeated the name. Shakola Columbus.
Yes, let me see.
The Southwest Special.
Shane, number 3 is Nina Zotto.
Let me think. Nina Zotto. Not sandwich worker.
Correct. Out of San Diego.
Wow.
You want a Zotto? You go to San Diego. Number 4 is Ansel Adams.
Fine art.
Correct. He's a photographer.
Bam.
Black and white.
Color,
Western
Ansel.
landscapes.
Yeah, come on. Let's see a color picture.
I've heard that one before.
No?
Well, good. Number 5 is Joe Pipkin. Joe Pipkin.
Sandwich worker.
Yes, out of Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Pipkin.
Representing the Southeast over there. How's the dog?
Oh, he's chewing one of the baby's toys.
Okay.
No,
Perfect.
All right, at least not
Perfect. As long
the
as-
baby.
Yeah, as long as she's not chewing the baby, we're good.
A dingo.
Shane, your last one, number 6, is Marcel Marceau.
That I think I heard that one before. I'm gonna say sandwich worker.
I'm sorry, the dog reacted first.
Yeah.
Oh, he is, of course, a mime.
Very famous
Name
mime.
another famous mime. Besides Marcel
Tony
Marceau.
Lee.
There's,
I mean, I know you're just an amateur.
Right, just a
It's a side
hobbyist.
hustle, yeah, hobbyist.
but I guarantee you, he could mime making a sandwich, and you would know what he was doing.
Yes, and
Be
you
like,
know the
"Thanks for
meat."
sandwich,
Mines
Marcel."
make me uncomfortable. You ever just see one out there doing their thing?
Yeah, of
they
course.
just make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I like it.
Shane, you went 5 for 6, brother.
Wow.
That is more than enough for a win. Congratulations.
Oh, great.
You have tickets to see Metallica this Sunday night, my man. Evan, I'm sorry to say 3 for 6, not enough today, but thank you both for playing, gentlemen. It's been a fun hang.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Right on. Sandwich artist or artist.
Mm-hmm.
There's something very wrong with Tony Lee.
Yes, many things. Let me mime what's wrong with me.
The only other mime I can think of, and of course I don't have the character's name, but of course Billy Crystal in Spinal Tap. Come on, mime is money.
Mime was money, yeah.
That's fantastic. There is a guitarist in Nashville, Tennessee, a guy that a lot of people know. He's been playing around town for years, and he's got the weirdest. He just has a tone that it's like he disappears in the mix of every band he's playing with. Like you just see him going, and it's like no matter what he does, no matter how many pedals he steps on or anything, his guitar, it just never rises above. And it's just a weird thing.
It sounds like a musician's nightmare they might have.
Yeah. And so, but another friend at one point, we were just standing at a gig and I'm watching this guy play and he looks at me and just goes, the Marcel Marceau of electric guitar. He's like, no matter what he does, you just can't quite hear it. Like, wow.
Are you sure that he's playing?
Yeah.
Maybe he's like me and he can't play a lick and he's just getting away with it. He's just gaming the system.
So funny. Like, yeah, all right, fair enough. That is a weird one. Mimes are. When is a mime ever truly welcome? When are you like, I wish that mime would show up?
I wish you were in a box. You know?
Yeah, right.
Pulling on the rope and doing all that. And they just kind of get in your face, too. It's like, all right. You don't have to interact. I don't know what it is with mimes. Maybe I just haven't met the right mime yet.
Well, there was... I guess Charlie Chaplin was a bit of a mime at some point, but who is the guy that would do, now that you're saying name another mime, wasn't there a guy that would do the thing where he was like a sad clown? He would sweep up the spotlight and it would get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Was that Red Buttons or one of those types of people? Back in the day, there was, I don't know if he was actually a mime or if he was just a clown.
So he'd end his show.
Yeah, he'd end the show with
the pointy hat on.
Maybe, I don't know. It's vague Mike Douglas era memories for me. Oh well, probably not going to pull that one out of that.
No, got nothing for you there.
I'm not going to pull that one out of the clown hat. Sorry, it's just there. It is. Man, Mike Douglas. I remember watching Mike Douglas homesick from school one day, and he had Mason Reese on, that little child actor.
Mason Reese.
And Mason Reese.
Mason Reese.
You know if you saw, he's like a red-haired, freckle-faced kid actor who was in a couple of commercials. or something.
What was that commercial we were so famous for?
Guest on Mike Douglas.
And I was watching him as a little kid on Mike Douglas, and he sang a song to Mike. And he was crying. It was about how much he loved. They were good friends. And I remember, even as a kid, I'm like, why is this 8-year-old boy and this 60-year-old man, why are they crying, singing a song? But it was a really nice moment, but it was just it wasn't nice at all. It would creep me out as a kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, I've never thought of Mason Reese the same way since.
That child would get a beating backstage if you don't sing this song to Mike.
That's exactly what it was. You got to turn on the waterworks.
Yeah.
Tony, anything? Mason Reese. What was he known for?
Yeah, television commercial in the 70s. God, they're not specifying it.
Was he taking people off? Was he taking sandwich artists on the show, Mike Douglas? I don't remember the Mike. I mean, I remember Mike Douglas, and the show was around and on, but he was no Dick Cavett.
He looked like a big stuffed animal.
Yeah, he did. He did. Hopefully he's still with us and not looking quite so stuffed.
Underwood Deviled Ham, Post Raisin Bran, and Dunkin' Donuts. But it was Deviled Ham.
That was it. The Deviled Ham kid.
Deviled Ham.
And Mason Reese is like probably, as we speak, he's probably like in Whistler. So he's out west somewhere in a small mountain town.
Right.
And he's literally like, what's going on? Is there like I feel something in the air. It's weird. Just someone's talking about me.
My name got Googled 18 times today. That's more than the last 2 years combined. Yeah, I'm trending in Minnesota right now.
That's it. Oh, wow. That's weird. The Deviled Ham kid. That's hilarious.
Lori's listening right now. From Blaine.
I have a birthday coming up this weekend, actually. Won't be on the air for it, but Saturday's my birthday.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll probably take it. You know what I'll be doing that day? The English Premier League, because I'm a soccer jerk. My team, Arsenal, kicks off. And I go watch the games downtown. I go over to the local. All the Arsenal fans show up there. So, if you're going to be there, come by and say happy birthday. But don't you dare try to show me up with your order.
What?
Oh, yeah. Birthday protocol. Watch what you order on someone else's birthday. I'll explain. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 13th. Special time for year for this guy. My birthday's coming up this weekend. Always a big deal. I mean, not really. I'm not. My birthday honestly doesn't really mean much to me. I mean, next year I'll be 60 next year, so I'll be like, assuming I make it, I'll be like, hey, 60. Okay, but 59's kind of like, whatever.
What are you doing? Skip the party this year.
What's that?
We can skip the surprise party this year?
Please do. Okay. Feel free to skip the surprise.
That's your Jack Ham year. Although, since we're in Minnesota, we'll call it the Matt Blair year.
Oh, well done.
Mighty 59 there.
But yeah, so basically what I'm saying is you have a year to pull out all the stops. Yeah, make 60 memorable. But along the way, but like I said earlier, if you're gonna be a part of my birthday, then by God, don't forget who the star of the day is. That's really not how I approach it. But that's not that. But I'm not the average Joe. Apparently, check this out. A woman posted a TikTok video that's getting an awful lot of attention because she wants you to know about her birthday protocol. Listen to this.
The one thing that would make me cut a friend off, I don't care how close we are. If we're best friends, we've been locked in for 25 years, is if you order fajitas at my birthday dinner. You know that it's my birthday, and I'm the star of the show. And so for you to order a big, sizzling, fulfilling tray of fajitas, and you know that when it comes out, everybody's going to say, oh, what did you get? Oh, what's going on? It's making all this noise. It's smoking everywhere. The waiter's got to have on mitts. What are you doing trying to order something so attention-grabbing at my birthday dinner?
Loser. Wow. I don't know. Was that paid for by the National Fajita Foundation?
I can tell you right now when she says, I don't care if we've been friends for 25 years, I will cut you out I was waiting for her to say, if you sleep with my man. I didn't expect her to say if you order fajitas. But you know what? If you don't want that to happen, I got a great workaround.
Yes.
Just go to a steakhouse.
Don't
go to an Italian restaurant. Go anywhere but a Mexican restaurant. You'll be fine.
An Italian restaurant, and you're going to get those raviolis, those delicious savory raviolis with that marinara sauce. And it's just a little whatever that green stuff is they put on top just to dress it up. You're going to draw that kind of attention to yourself.
You guys were like sisters. What happened? She ordered the garlic bread.
Fajitas. I just want to hear by the way, the fajitas are, if we're just going to, say, Applebee's, just a franchise restaurant out there, good old Americana, that's my go-to, because you can't screw that up. You know, it's just the meat and then the onions and the green peppers and then throw the accoutrements on the side and bring it out sizzling and we're all good to go. But
I guess
I'm shocked she has a friend.
I guess you could undercook those items, but as long as you get to a certain point, it's hard to overcook fajitas. You just keep them on there for as long as you need.
I mean, do they really draw that much attention?
I feel like they draw so much attention that I will not order them. I'm like, I don't want the whole place looking at us.
You're right, or you're so Minnesotan. I'm not that flashy.
What if I have to send it back? Then everybody will know.
Just bring me a chopped salad. What's your soup? I'll just have some soup
and tomato soup and a piece of bread.
Yeah, all that bread you brought. I want to hear that. I want to hear that description again.
5 years is if you order fajitas at my birthday dinner. You know that it's my birthday, and I'm the star of the show. And so for you to order a big, sizzling, fulfilling tray of fajitas, you know that when it comes out, everybody's going to say, oh, what did you get? Oh, what's going on? It's making all this noise. It's smoking everywhere. The waiter's got to have on mitts. What are you doing trying to order something so attention-grabbing at my birthday dinner?
So what you've done is you basically ordered a party at her party, a plate party. It does, though, when it comes out, because you need more room, right? You've got like 2 plates that come with it. Then you've got the fajita thing, and it's sizzling. It is exciting.
It's a carnival.
Food.
Carnival.
I've had fajitas many times. I don't recall. And I've had the plate where it's sizzling and it is steaming, but I don't recall other people in the restaurant looking at me different afterwards. Hey, let me take a second look at this guy.
Who does this guy think he is? Who do you think you are over there, mister? Ordering your fajitas, your very satisfying large plate.
Fulfilling.
Sizzling. Yeah, fulfilling. That's it.
Do you remember, did they have an ice ice cream parlor up here back in the day called Farrell's?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about. You'd get the zoo.
The Farrell's Zoo.
And it would
That's where
come
my
out on
brain
a
went.
stretcher.
Yeah. Okay, you had ice. Yeah, exactly.
You had
You'd order
Farrell's
the Farrell's
too?
Zoo. They were in Michigan, and
I
we had
didn't know it
family
was a
there.
chain.
That's where we saw it in Michigan. And you'd order the Farrell's Zoo, which was it was a sundae that was 8 pounds of ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Vanilla chocolate, strawberry, chocolate chip mint, peppermint. And they, like you said, they brought it out. If somebody ordered the Farrell's Zoo, it's obviously for a large table.
Yeah.
They brought it out on the stretcher. Sirens went off, like confetti.
Drums.
Like everybody in the place would go, oh my God, someone ordered the Farrell's Zoo.
And it's not Ryder.
And
I mean, this might be worth the attention.
I was at a Farrell's Zoo in Livonia, Michigan, and someone else ordered the zoo, and we were all excited. And the dudes carrying it on the stretcher, they lost control.
Oh, no.
And it went all over a woman's coat on the back of her chair.
I mean,
true story.
Was it downhill?
It was. They were. Well, they're. It's on a stretcher. And
Yeah, and they come running.
They come running through the restaurant like it's a big show. Like we got the zoo, woo woo woo, and they were just and literally like the whole room went from euphoria to, and it was just ice cream all over a woman's coat.
You just described the last place on planet Earth I would ever eat.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was so fun when you were a kid.
I guess
So
when
exciting.
I was a kid. If you want me, I'll be at Applebee's with the fajitas. Thank you very
Or
much.
for those young at heart.
There was also the Farrell's Pig Trough, which that's
The
just
trough,
one person,
yes.
the trough. I Googled, as I was just talking, Farrell's Zoo to make sure I had this right. And here's a question that you can ask. Who were the victims of the Farrell's ice cream parlor disaster?
Oh.
I don't want to know. Apparently, there was a disaster at a Farrell's once. Holy crap. I don't want to know what that even means.
Well, they had a stretcher at the ready, so
Yeah,
whatever
right,
happened.
exactly.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this. I made the mistake of looking at this.
Oh, what happened?
I'm in shock. An F-86 Sabre fighter plane.
Yeah, right.
Crashed into a Farrell's in Sacramento, California.
Yeah, one of the early jets would have been, I guess, probably early Vietnam era.
Oh
before it went out
my
of commission,
gosh!
the
In
Sabres.
1972, 22 people died, and it was a kids football team.
Oh, that's
celebrating.
Oh, wow.
This has taken a terrible turn. See, that's when Google gets you in trouble.
Yeah, that's
One
the
minute
whole
we're talking-
stretcher joke isn't really.
Yeah, 1 minute we're talking about 8 pounds of ice cream, and the next minute we got
it's blood and gore. Yeah,
we got the junior
A disaster.
49ers. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry to bring you down.
I could use some fajitas right now.
I tell you what, this will be better. How about this story I saw about a very large 14-year-old dog stuck in the mud? Oh, God, no, this is not getting any better. Actually, this is a good one. A guy from down under, a Kiwi, New Zealander, is canoeing his way across Canada. Let's just take a minute with that one.
I'm going all the way to the other side, way up there in the northern hemisphere, to the top of it, to Canada, to canoe.
Apparently so.
All right.
Hello, mate. I understand there's some beaver pelts for sale in this area. He's canoeing across Canada, and there's videos of this. He's got GoPros on his helmet and on his canoe. He's filming this journey, this
Nobody wants to
escapade.
see this film, buddy.
And but he looks over at the riverbank at some point, and he sees what he's like. Is that a dog? And he comes over, and a very large. A 14-year-old, as it turns out, large dog is stuck in the mud on a riverbank, and
That's nature, man. Don't interfere.
Yeah, well, he interferes. He goes over, pulls a very large dog, a Great Pyrenees, those giant white dogs.
Yeah.
It's literally its front legs and its head are out. The rest of it, the back half of the body is stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
He frees the dog, somehow tracks down her owner, and gets the dog returned home to a very grateful owner. I mean, it's a nice story. There's no bad ending to this one. This is there's no Sabre jet landing in the Canadian wilderness on this one.
Oh, this is good news then. All right, well, here
It
he
is
is.
good news.
Saw a dog stuck. I could just hear her barking. I actually passed her and then turned around and when I faintly heard the barking and turned around and went back to investigate. When I found her, she had a log was actually on top of the back half of her. I made sure we stayed there for a few minutes first just to make sure she wasn't injured or spinal injuries or anything.
There's a log on top of the dog. Maybe someone was trying to get rid of this dog.
Man, well, all I know. I mean, the lesson, as always, is if you're canoeing across a foreign land, don't turn your back on animals in duress.
Yeah,
I guess that's the message.
I mean, good luck to him.
Yeah, really. And speaking of people in duress, here's another great story. Jim Dreyer is a gentleman who is 60 years old. He's a marathon swimmer. Okay?
Right.
Jim Dreyer decided, I think I'm going to swim across Lake Michigan, from Michigan to Wisconsin.
What?
Chilly.
I'm gonna make that swim.
I mean, just like cut the corner a little bit? Or?
No, he's going to go right across. He
All
wants
right.
to. He wants to challenge himself. It was an 80-mile swim. He, on the third day in the water, on his third day in the water, he realized I probably ought to not continue this swim.
You're 3 days out, dude.
He's swimming with a GPS device to keep him on course, but the batteries went out on his wrist-worn GPS.
Uh-oh.
He decided, I think I can just look at the sun and follow the waves and I'll know which way I'm going. By the time he pulled the plug on this and was picked up by a boat, he was swimming due north.
The long way.
Yeah.
Taking the long way to Minnesota. Or not to Minnesota. He's going from Michigan to where?
To Wisconsin.
Oh, to Wisconsin. Yeah,
His
over to
nickname
Wisconsin.
is the Shark. He did this in 1998. He went from Two Rivers, Wisconsin to Ludington, Michigan, or Ludington. I don't know how you say that. 3 attempts to do it again since last summer have been unsuccessful. Now, he's towing an inflatable boat with supplies, so he's not out there alone. He's hooked up to some stuff. But he somehow lost his GPS. He was trying to change out the batteries and lost it. So he had to have a compass, and he thought, well, the compass and the wind and the sun, I can keep this straight.
Here comes a Kiwi in a canoe to rescue him. Here's the deal. All right. I mean, we all challenge ourselves, and we want to get out there and physically and mentally strain ourselves sometimes. I get that. But, I mean, no one cares that he's doing this. I would just hate to,
No.
I mean, if he perished out there, people would just say you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, well, a little. Just kind
He
of.
said after when they got him out of the water, he said his word was, my brain was mush, and he had been hallucinating about a steel wall that he was sticking his hands through, and also having visions of cargo ships. I don't think those were hallucinations.
Just ignore those.
And then he said it, and then he also told the people there, saving his ass, I only need a couple more days and I can get to Milwaukee.
No,
buddy. Man, I mean, I appreciate the effort, sort of, but come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've got nothing for this guy.
I got a buddy in Chicago who's a long distance swimmer. Did the English Channel. Did in the 80s and 90s, lived in New York City, and he did a swim around Manhattan Island several different times.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a long time in water that is just gross.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's a good way to catch a disease. There again, I mean, why am I not impressed with this effort?
I saw the swimmers in the Paris Olympics. They were swimming in the Seine River, and more of them are coming forward. They're all sick as dogs.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of them talked about touching some things under the water they don't want to talk about.
Inappropriately.
Yeah.
I swam a mile
touch.
at summer camp one time. They had a mile swim. That was exhausting. I was like a hero. I was like Tarzan.
Yeah.
But that was just a mile.
Yeah, I did the old tried to get across Bidet Makaska, but then I may have been having a few beers that day, and I was like, I can swim across this. I was in my 20s, and you could swim forever, and I did about halfway across, start angling back towards the. Well, didn't go all the way across. I had to cut the corner a little bit.
Really?
I was losing my steam. Yeah.
I was.
And you can't pee while you're swimming. You have to tread water. Can you guys pee while you swim?
Sure.
You have, really? While you're swimming?
Easily, yes.
Yeah.
But I have different equipment. But yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, with this monster, it's almost impossible. You just have to tread water.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And let her out slowly.
You gotta undo all the fastenings.
Right.
And
the whole thing.
The buckles.
Reel it out.
a buddy of mine like 15 years ago. I ran into a buddy of mine, and I hadn't seen him in a while. I'm like, dude, you look great. He goes, I'm swimming every day at the Y, just going in, and man, it's been the best thing ever. And he had dropped like 30 pounds since I'd seen him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hell, man, I'm going to go start swimming at the Y, because I used to swim as a kid. I was on the swim team up until I was like 12, and then I've always just been a good swimmer. And I dove into that pool with the intention of swimming laps, and it was singular, lap. I did one. Not even a lap. It was a length.
Yeah.
I didn't even go down and back. I went down, and I just pulled myself out of the water, and I've never tried to swim a lap since. I was like, no, that's I crossed the line. There's no going back.
Yeah, no, I tried once at Lifetime Fitness when I had a membership, and I'm not a good swimmer. I mean, I just kind of self-taught. I can swim. I can swim and stay above the water. I don't worry about drowning or anything like that. But you know that nice smooth motion you get where your head just comes slightly out of the water? No, I can't do that. And I ended up flailing around in there so poorly that I kept swimming into all the other swimmers that were doing laps in there.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, there weren't any ropes or anything. There were lines on the bottom of the pool. But yeah, I bonked heads twice with someone on the first trip down. And then I apologized, got out of the pool, and quickly hustled my way over to the sauna.
I'm not that strong a swimmer.
Nope.
I knew my swimming career ended when my friend, real name, Butchie Connor was his name.
Yeah. Sounds like a troublemaker.
You know, in school and in sports, when you're a kid, there's always that time you show up after a summer away, or there's like a moment when you realize, oh, everyone left me behind. Like, you know, I didn't get the growth spurt, or everyone suddenly developed really good foot speed or whatever it is. And for me with swimming, we started one summer, first day of swim practice, and we had been really good friends. He was always better than me. I have a lot of red second place ribbons from my swimming career, and he had nothing but blues, you know, because if he was in the race, he was going to win. But I knew it was over when the first day of swim practice of the summer, we dive in and we go up and back, and he beat me. I was swimming freestyle, and he was swimming butterfly. And I was like, oh, something has changed dramatically. Okay, that's it. I guess I'm back into soccer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was it. I walked away from that pool and never looked back either. Trust me on that one.
That's swimming.
All right, it's time, or it's almost time, for the top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 13th. Good morning. Glad to be with you, everybody. It is August 13th. That means it's Left-Handers Day. A little bit more on that momentarily. Okay. But all my lefties out there, man, this is your day. Go make the most of it, would you?
Yes.
I don't know what that means, really, to
Buy
make the most of it.
left-handed scissors.
There you go. There you go.
Look, you've got the whole day to yourself. Good for you.
I'm curious. If you're a lefty, what's the worst part about being a lefty? What is the thing? Because I don't know how. You know, I just go buy scissors and use them. I just go about my business. I don't ever have to think twice about it.
Well,
we said earlier in the show that like 2,500 people around the planet a year die from being left-handed but using a right-handed tool.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
I got a handyman buddy of mine that gripes every once in a while about using the tape measure. Apparently, it's upside down.
My little Hudson's a lefty. If you sit next to him and at dinner, you might bang elbows.
Yeah. Oh, there's the bang elbow.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough then. But it's your day. And by the way, in just a few minutes, I have a little quiz, a little true and false quiz for our left-handed friends out there. Well, it's really for us to talk about our left-handed friends out there. We're going to get to that in a moment. But it's a more pressing concern to share with you as you're getting your day off on the right foot. The top 5 at 9. Let's go. Top 5 at 9. Hey, if you are going to get out on a lake and look for some walleye, guess what? The DNR says, hey, we're going to make it better for you. You can keep either 2 walleye between 18 and 20 inches or 1 between 18 and 20 and a second one over 28.
I never caught one of those before.
Anglers will be able to, this is at, I should reference, this is at Mille Lacs. Lake Mille Lacs. Anglers will be able to catch and keep either 2 walleye between 18 and 20 or one 18 and 20 and another over 28. If it's 26, no, sorry.
No, you can't keep that. That's they're looking for populations. Apparently, they have a very healthy population in that 18 to 20 range, and those are fantastic eaters. So you're going to get to make yourself your own personal meal, I guess, now on Mille Lacs. At least it's trending in the right direction, but this has happened before. They let you catch some walleye, and then it's the populations go up and down.
Sure.
But don't forget, if you are up at Mille Lacs fishing, don't forget that if you catch any bass, to throw those on the shore.
Okay.
Okay. Don't forget to throw those away.
Very important.
Don't release the bass and don't eat them. No, I like bass personally. I know a lot of people don't. This is a walleye state, but very country. You start talking bass up in Mille Lacs, you might get a nosebleed.
When you and I were at the fishing open, what was the biggest walleye one of us brought in? What was it, like 48, 52, something like that?
It was a muskie, I think you're talking about there.
Sorry, my bad.
No, I think we caught some fine 16 inchers.
Yeah,
like
I'm
14
feeling
to
like
16
that, right
inch.
around there.
Good little eaters.
Crappies.
It was good fish for me.
Yeah.
I was happy with it. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9, the Los Angeles Olympics of 2028. Now, the Paris Summer Olympics, first things first, what a great couple weeks that was. Yeah. At a time when in my mind, I feel like the Olympics are losing steam every single time. It seemed like they really got a lot of magic back. Maybe that's just me, but...
Well, Peacock was bragging about their streaming numbers. I mean, they made it nice and easy. Like you said, a la carte. People could just pop on and catch a specific event or some highlights.
More than in any recent Olympics, though. And by recent, I mean last 10, 12, 14 years. I was just talking. More people brought it up, like in just a conversation. Man, you see the Olympics? You see the Olympics? It just seemed like, for whatever reason, these summer games were on everybody's radar in a way that I hadn't seen as of late. So the next summer games, Los Angeles, much better for the time zones. It's everything. You'll be able to watch everything live, a little easier than say games from Europe. But check this out. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, made this prediction. The LA Olympics in 2028 will be no car games, meaning no cars. You will take public transportation to all of the venues. Well, I won't, but you will. I'm not going to go to L.A. if I'm going to have to rely on public transportation. It's a nightmare.
I sure as hell wouldn't want to go to the Olympics in L.A. and drive around anyway, but I'm skeptical. What are they going to do it all in one building? Just there in the L.A. Coliseum? Everything's just in the Coliseum.
They said they're not building any new venues.
No, they did say that.
They've got the old infrastructure still left over from the old one.
That's pretty good.
All those abandoned buildings downtown, they could use those as dorms.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, they can make all that stuff work. Speaking of L.A., number 3 on your top 5 at 9, there was an earthquake in Los Angeles based in Pasadena or right near there yesterday. 4.4 magnitude. When it first hit, they had higher, I think it was 4.7 is what I saw. Now they're calling it a 4.4. Trust me, that's plenty of earthquake. You never want to be in anything bigger than that. Believe me. ESPN, a live interview on air. Malika Andrews was hosting a show, and she had somebody on the big Jumbotron in a studio for ESPN as the earthquake hit, and she handled it not just like a pro. She handled it like a pro's pro. Listen to this audio, and just imagine the building she's in is violently shaking.
And it was so much fun to see, particularly the crowd sort of getting behind as we have a bit of an earthquake here in Los Angeles. So we're just going to make sure that our studio lights, everything stays safe, everything's shaking. You good, Mylan? Everybody good? All right, thank you so much for bearing with us through that. Our studio was shaking just a little bit. Tarsi, if you're still good in the studio and everyone's still good. All right, so this is what I want to show you now. Rebecca, I appreciate you just bearing with us here.
Okay, yeah, literally, just Rebecca Lobo. Thanks for bearing with us. You're in Connecticut. I'm in an earthquake, and I'll stay calm and make sure everybody's okay. She's looking up at the ceiling, making sure the lights are all still in place. Okay, that's fine. Going to the cameraman, the director. Everybody good? Everybody okay? I've been in an earthquake, and I've been in a lot of tremors, and at no point in my life was I ever anywhere near that calm while any of that was happening.
My pulse is racing every time I order a brownie earthquake from Dairy Queen. I mean, mean, I just can't, contain myself. I was at the Luscious Crab last night on University over in St. Paul having one of their boils with some fine folks, including my daughter, and the lights flickered. They went out for about 1,000 too.
Okay.
And one employee and one person sitting in a booth adjacent to us both freaked out. And just about, you only had 1,001, 1,002, and then they came back on. There was such a short time, but they still managed to freak out, and that was because the lights went out for a second.
Is there any windows in the building?
Lots of windows in the
building. So not a complete blackout?
No, it was evening. I think it was like 6 o'clock.
Well, some trauma there.
Yeah, I mean, I only noticed because the light above our head flickered. Yeah, there was. People freaking out.
That is funny.
Profane language. F me up the A was what I believe one person
Wow.
yelled.
Over that?
F me up the A. Somebody just screamed it out.
Any offers?
Volunteers? I mean,
just to soothe?
I flinched.
Foil me up an apple. Man, it reminds me of my nephew Eric went to school. His first day of first grade, his parents walked him out to the bottom of their cul-de-sac. He got on a bus and went to school. And then they were there at the end of the day. And he got off the bus and he said, "Dad, do you know the A word, asshole?" First day on the bus.
Been listening to your mother again.
First day on the bus.
Wow.
Hey, real quick, everybody over in Prescott, Wisconsin, good morning. Just want to tip the cap to Prescott.
What time's the monkey bar open over there?
Oh, why? If you know the right people, right now, I'm sure.
You love it. They have swings at the bar. You sit at the bar, you're sitting on a swing. Yeah,
we can.
Good stuff.
We can get there within the hour, probably.
Oh, yes, we can.
If we hustle.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we appreciate you being with us there, Prescott. Finally, your top 5 at 9. Number 5. It's Left-Handers Day, as I already mentioned. This is hang on, I got it right in front of me, the 32nd annual Left-Handers Day. August 13th is a chance to tell your family and friends how proud you are of being left-handed, but also to raise awareness of the everyday issues lefties face in a world designed for right-handers. Maybe my dad was actually just doing me a colossal favor.
You think?
He didn't take the time to explain that, but he just refused to allow me to do anything with my left hand.
Dads don't explain.
No, that was a wild one. But there's a lot of course, people have been left-handed for as long as there have been people, but it's a smaller percentage. How many people do you think in the world are left-handed? Percentage of folks left-handed. Tony, what do you think?
It's pretty low. I don't know, like 10%, maybe less.
Wow. How about right at 10%? Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And as you said, is it August is a...
Hudson is a lefty.
Oh, Hudson's a lefty. Right. And does he ever talk about, is there a problem for him? Does he ever...
He cries about it all the time, and I hit him to keep quiet.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Actually, a lot of creative people are lefties.
Very much so.
Leonardo da Vinci came up this morning. Lefty.
It's always been the word on the street, but apparently left-handed people are more likely to excel in creative fields. This is not universally true for every individual, but left-handed people have forever been associated with higher creativity.
Ooh.
So there you have it.
Is that left side of the brain? The left, but comes from the right side of the brain?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can never keep up with any of that stuff. I just know this. Not a lot of bean counters out there going lefty. You know what I'm saying? How about this? True or false? Left-handed people generally have better night vision than right-handed people.
False.
Weird.
That is correct. It is false. There's no scientific evidence to suggest that at all, but it is something that through the ages people have suggested. For whatever reason, that's a myth. How about lefties?
Because they have the devil in them.
Oh, that would explain it. Well, of course, the devil always has great night vision.
That's
when he's at his best.
Lefties.
Yeah.
He's the Prince of Darkness.
How about this? Well, I mean, we've already spoken about this. In some cultures, left-handedness historically been considered unlucky or undesirable. Yeah, it certainly has, which I can't imagine a dumber thing to get hung up on. Although, then you go back a few centuries, you got spiral staircases in castles to keep the invaders out because you want the certain sword, everyone's got a sword in their right hand.
Yeah.
And so you have the staircases such that if an invading horde is running upstairs to come and attack the king, but he's got his right hand is against the wall, so he can't sword fight.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Here comes the lefty screwing it all up, just hacking people left and right. coming up the stairs.
I don't know if that made any sense, but my point is, back in the day when when you had swords, it did matter that you were. I mean, left-handed was no way to go in a world of sword play.
Kind of sounds like it might have been, but yeah.
Likelihood of being left-handed entirely determined by genetics. True or false?
True.
No, I'm sorry, Ryder.
No?
It's false. Genetics play a significant role in determining handedness, but environmental factors like Don Gorman and prenatal conditions also influence whether a person is left or right-handed.
Whenever you reference your pop, you have to go into that voice.
Always.
You never say Don Gorman. It's always Don Gorman.
Don Gorman. He'd answer the phone. Yellow Gormans. Always.
That's right.
Just announcing it. Yellow Gormans. My dad would have been an awesome PA announcer at an arena, like for sports. Just had a booming voice. People say, like, man, you've got a big booming voice. Nothing like the old man.
Wow.
Just barking those orders out. I've told you before, playing high school sports, I heard one voice in the gym. Rebound! Over there'd be 800 people in a Cracker Box, Kentucky high school basketball gym, and that's all I heard.
Yeah, mine was Mom. Of course, I have Mom's voice. But yeah, my mom at a football game. That's the only voice you'd hear. Just a sheer voice. Always calling it out wrong. I remember dropping a touchdown pass one time, hit me right between the numbers.
That's so you.
Man. Yeah, and Mom. The only voice you can hear, everybody say, "Oh." And Mom, pick it up and run.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Say, Mom,
Jackie Smith did you?
Yeah, I did.
Remember?
I did. Yeah, I was not in the end. Do I remember the Jackie Smith? God bless him. I sent him a birthday card every year.
You and every Steelers fan.
Hey, he sang the national anthem at the Hall of Fame game, and he left out like a whole...
Jackie Smith?
A whole bunch of verses on the national anthem.
He dropped it, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Wide open and dropped it. No, not a defender within 10 feet.
Remember the left-handed Whopper? Burger
I
King.
do remember they put out the left-handed
Was it
Whopper.
April Fool's Day? Or was it maybe
sure
left-handed day? Yeah, they put out the left-handed Whopper. They had rotated all of the ingredients 180 degrees
yes, and it
for lefties.
Well, how do you eat it?
You can't.
You'd be out of luck.
Yeah.
Fall.
Do not remember that particular marketing
silliness.
Wow, that's pretty good, actually. It's
It upset a lot of people, actually.
I bet it did.
All fired up.
You got to wonder, like, the number of people that had to just go, yeah, run with that. But I get the idea, and I get even selling it to the guy in your cubicle, and then I get you guys go to the boss and sell it to him. But at some point, you'd think somebody would go, we're not putting money into this campaign. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. It's like, who's the guy at Coca-Cola who, like, one day in the early 80s was sitting there going, you know what we should do? We have too much of the market. We should change the formula for the most popular beverage ever invented.
Let's change it up. That's just panic right there. But it turned into a boon. I don't believe they came up with that without knowing that they were going to go back to original Coke, which made it more popular than ever.
That's genius. If true, yeah, sure. It certainly worked out that way. Here's a text from Scott, who shared with us that when I go into my Don Gorman voice, he thinks of Fred Garvin, male prostitute. That's right. Man, that is... I was never a big Aykroyd guy, but that Fred Garvin always killed me. That was always good stuff. I appreciate Aykroyd now more. When I was a kid, he just didn't work for me for some reason. But yeah,
he wasn't one of the cool ones. He was the nerdy one, right?
Yeah.
He was the foil.
He was intense.
He wasn't, Aykroyd or Belushi. I mean, he wasn't Belushi or...
Yep.
Who's the other guy I'm thinking of?
Bill Murray. He was the Swiss Army knife. He was just good at every type of role. The last fact about left-handers, 2 of every 4 Beatles are left-handed. That's true. That's Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. Ringo plays the kit right-handed. He plays as a right-handed drummer, but he is left-handed. And in fact, as it's been stated many times, the reason nobody plays like Ringo Starr, you can play those parts, but the feel is never quite right, is he is sitting at a drum kit set up for a right-handed guy, and he's a lefty, and he starts drum fills with his left hand as opposed to his right hand. And there's this tiny lag, like an nth of a degree of a beat where he is behind when he goes to that rack tom to start, and he's a big tom player. Think about the song A Day in the Life.
Yeah.
And his feel is so unique because he's just a little behind the average drummers behind the beat because he's just moving he's playing the way a lefty would play. Anyway, the end result is he's absolutely the king, and nobody swings like Ringo to this day. So there you have it. There is your final left-handed fact of the day worth repeating. I love me some Richard Starkey. I'm sorry, man. The better I got, the better he got. I was like, oh, wait, I used to like his drumming, and now I didn't,
Oh, ask a drummer about Ringo Starr. I mean, it's they'll get fired up. They stand up just about every time.
I've said this for years. When people say Ringo's overrated, that's usually the last thing I hear that person say because I just tune them out for the rest of all time.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 13th. How many times do I have to tell you, shut your mouth and quit while you're ahead? Or quit while you're behind. Don't get worse behind. Don't fall farther behind.
Yeah.
When you're digging a hole for yourself, stop digging. What's that old expression?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've often thought about tattooing that on my forearm. Sometimes I'll write little notes to myself before we do the show, like shut up or don't say this word.
Yeah.
I get a word stuck in my head.
Sure you do.
That's what that giant stack is in the corner.
Yeah, it's just little cue cards to myself, but one of them would keep your mouth shut because I'm definitely a person that makes it worse for myself.
For the second time in a couple months, a judge in Michigan named Cedric Simpson is on everybody's radar. A couple months ago, a gentleman was late to a court appearance. He was supposed to appear in front of the judge. The charge was he was driving on a suspended license. He phoned into the judge to say, sorry, I can't make it. I'm pulling into my doctor's office right now. Driving again on that same suspended license. It was a great story. It was pretty funny. Well, that's not the only thing. Cedric Simpson, this judge, yesterday had a gentleman in front of him named Daryl Gerald. What a name. Daryl Gerald.
Are you listening out there, wannabe moms and dads? This is what happens when you don't carefully name your child. You give them some sort of kooky name. Daryl's not kooky. Gerald's not kooky, but Daryl Gerald is.
Now, the only thing maybe it's Daryl Jarrell is the only way that you could, but it's spelled the same. It's a D or a J, Arrell. So I'm going to call him Daryl Gerald.
Could be Darrell Jarrell.
Could be Darrell Jarrell. That's a very good point, Tony. He was in charge in front of our buddy Judge Cedric Simpson on a minor trespassing charge, and he just couldn't keep his mouth shut. By the way, if you are held in contempt of court for say cursing at the judge, it's 93 days for contempt. Listen to this.
It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can kiss my ass.
I'm going to tell you what. You don't come in here. That's contempt. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
Oh, 6 93s consecutive.
That adds up to 558 days in jail for simply not shutting up.
What do you get there? A year and a half?
Year and a half in jail.
Yeah, for not. You know what? He walked out of that courtroom still very much with that FU attitude. You know what? FU, give me another 93. Yeah. But I bet on day one, sometime right after lunch, he went, oh, man, what have I done? God, I'm such an idiot. I'm a moron.
Or he, after day one, went, only 557 more of these. I showed him. I've learned in life that when you do anything to make a statement, the statement is almost always, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, they almost always shove it up your ass. Yeah. That's why they call it standing tall before the man, I guess, for one of a better term there. But yeah, you're going to lose it, especially this judge. He's sassy.
It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can kiss my ass.
I'm going to tell you what. You don't come in here. That's contempt. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
I can do this all day, mister.
You give me 193, and I am not only am I shutting up. Before I shut up, I'm apologizing and begging forgiveness.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
just me. Oh, well, what are you going to do? We'll always remember August 13th, 2024, the Daryl Gerald escapade. But this is not the only year of which this date is of note. Let's look back. On this day in 1906, a pitcher for the Cubs named Jack Taylor only lasted 3 innings in a game against Brooklyn. He was pulled out of the game. Why does that matter? Well, it ended his consecutive complete games streak, which dated back at that time to 1901. It was 187 consecutive complete games pitched.
God,
how
that guy a day off? Yeah, you won't ever see that record. I mean, they won't even come close to it.
No, 187 consecutive complete games. Jack Taylor, rumor has it, woke up one morning and his arm had fallen off. Not able to confirm that in my notes.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.